Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today I'm taking a look at a lens that I've reviewed before, but I reviewed it with my Fujifilm XS20. I've now bought it for my Sony ZV-E10, well I actually bought it some time ago, to use with my ZV-E10 and my ZV-E10 Mark II and my FX30, which is somewhere here on the floor down there. Now, I use it predominantly here in the studio as a video lens. Now the lens I'm talking about is the Viltrox 33mm f1.4. And it's great because of its wide aperture, its wide f1.4 aperture. It produces lovely bokeh, and you can actually simulate a full frame look using this combination. I'm going to prove it, because what I'm going to do in just a minute is stick this lens on my ZV-E10, which is filming the wide shot just there. And I'm going to compare it directly against my Sony A7IV, which has got the Sony FE 50mm f1.8 lens fitted to it. I'm going to show people, which I have done before, and I'm going to do it in this video, that you can mimic a full frame look with an APS-C sensor if you've got the right lens fitted. Now 33mm is about 54, 55mm, so it's fairly similar, or very similar to the 50mm that's on my Sony A7IV, and that's why I'm going to compare the two. But because this has got the f1.4 aperture, I can get that lovely creamy bokeh, and the bokeh is really nice with this lens. It's a nice sharp lens. It has got your manual aperture ring around the lens if you do want to use that. I've got so used to using the control dials on the camera that I don't use the manual ring on the lens. Although with my Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, because it hasn't got a command dial on the front, having the aperture ring on the lens is actually really useful, because when I'm in manual exposure, which I do when I'm shooting video, I can use the aperture ring on the lens for setting the aperture, and I can use the dial, either that one or the command dial there, for setting the shutter speed. I would normally actually use that one for setting the shutter speed, and this will for setting the ISO or exposure compensation. In video I've got that set for setting the ISO, because in manual you don't really need exposure compensation because you're setting the settings manually anyway. So nice compact lens, not very heavy, comes with a nice lens shade, and that fits on there rather snugly. And I think these Viltrox lenses are amazing value for money. Either if you don't want to spend a lot of money and you're only going to be using the lens occasionally, or you are on a tight budget but you still want to get great results. I think Viltrox lenses always fit the bill. I've got quite a few Viltrox lenses because I just like the manufacturing quality of them. A very nice manual focus ring. I tend to use autofocus. The actual autofocus motor is an STM motor, so it's not the fastest of autofocus, but it's, again, for what I use, it's more than fast enough. I'm using presentations of camera shots like this. Once it's set the focus on me, then it will stay focused. Even with my original ZV-E10, I've not used it with my ZV-E10 for a long time, but I'm going to prove to you that the autofocus does still work beautifully with the Sony ZV-E10. It's a great photographic lens. It is 33mm, so it's about 50 something mil. So it's a great little portrait lens if you are doing portrait photography. I haven't done any portrait photography with it. I've done a few photographs of me cats, and so it throws the background out of focus beautifully, and the eyes are nice and sharp. Because these cameras have got eye autofocus for cats, animals, you know, as well as humans, then you can use it for that. The bokeh's really nice. The bokeh balls look great. There's no onion rings. It's a nice defined out of focus area, so I think that is, again, great. And I just love the way the autofocus works, as well as the image quality from this lens. Lovely and sharp. It's a really nice sharp lens and great images. I will leave these images on my Flickr page. I'll upload them to my Flickr page. I'll leave a link in the description of this video so you can actually find them on Flickr. But I think what we need to do is take this lens off the ZV-E10 Mark II and mount it on my ZV-E10 so you can see what the video quality is like and the image quality is like for video. Also, you can see the comparison between the ZV-E10, or basically an APS-C 33mm lens, compared to my Sony full frame with the 50mm lens on. The angle's not exactly the same, they're not buttered up right close to each other, but I'll do my best to get them as close as possible so you can actually see you know, the difference between the two. So let's do that now. I've now put the Viltrox AF 33mm lens on my Sony ZV-E10, and I'm comparing that with my Sony A7IV, which has the Sony FE 50mm lens fitted to it. Now it's got an f1.8 aperture on the full frame lens, f1.4 aperture that I've set on my ZV-E10. And I think you'll find the bokeh and the depth of field, the separation between myself and the background is very, very good on the APS-C camera with this 33mm f1.4 lens. I'm quite happy with that. I can work with that, no problem whatsoever. But also on the A7IV, the separation obviously between myself and the background is also really, really good. I think the A7IV might be a little bit tighter. I'm looking at my monitor now, so I'm looking down at my monitor. Looks like it might be a bit tighter than the ZV-E10, but that's easily cured just by moving the ZV-E10 a little closer or using clear image zoom just to tighten it up just that little bit. But they're natively set, so that is definitely 50mm on the A7IV and the 33mm on my ZV-E10. So as I say, you can very much get a look like a full frame look on an APS-C camera using a lens that has the wider aperture. And I'd say 33mm is about 56-55mm equivalent of what you would find on a full frame body. So there we go. That's the Viltrox 33mm lens I use predominantly on either my FX30 or my ZV-E10 Mark II, although now I'm using it on my Sony ZV-E10. The ZV-E10 is only an 8-bit camera, but that's fine for here in the studio. I'm not doing colour grading and I'm not doing green screen work here in the studio, or not in this studio anyway. So there we go. That's a quick comparison now between the ZV-E10 with a 33mm lens, that's what you're looking at now, compared to my Sony A7IV with its full frame lens. So there we go, switch back to the Viltrox lens and we'll end this video. Hope you found that video useful. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to take a look at these images on my Flickr page. And remember to share this video if you think other people might find this video useful. That would be fantastic. Thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.